Yes, the ultimate soulmate. That one magical person who will finally understand your emotional text messages, remember your coffee orders, and never trigger your abandonment issues. You might think to yourself, totally real, definitely out there. Probably just stuck in traffic on the highway of your karmic lessons. So, what's the point of talking about aiming at attracting a soulmate, you might ask us at Be Love Media? Isn't it the whole purpose of your YouTube channel, Haim? Great question, true lover. Glad you asked. Listen, mate, I found my ultimate soulmate, my wife and best friend, Rachel. But in my painful example, it took 3 decades and 3 failed marriages. Yes, 3 painful divorces. But guess what? It was freaking worth it. If you ask me what's the difference between a normal, mediocre, committed relationship and a relationship with your ultimate soulmate, I would answer that it's the same, except in a relationship with your ultimate soulmate, you're 2 inches off the ground. High on my true love relationship. It's that good. A healthy relationship of 2 people who truly care, love, and understand each other. So hi, I'm Haim with Be Love Media, and today we'll chat about the juncture between the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching and your love life. And we'll focus on verse 17 of the 81 verses or 81 poems of the Tao Te Ching, written 2,600 years ago by Lao Tzu in ancient China at the time of the Warring States era. I'm passionate about helping you stop confusing spiritual lessons for romantic partners and guiding you to align with love that is real, rooted, and sovereign, based on ancient wisdoms. Now, if you stick around till the end of this video, I promise to gift you with 3 practical tips for your dating life based on this ancient verse 17. And before we dive in, true lovers, give that like button a little loving tap, subscribe to our channel, and let the algorithm know you're manifesting conscious connection, not another situationship. So, here is verse of the day, Tao Te Ching, verse 17. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it all by ourselves." Close quote. By the way, I'm interchanging between he and she, female and male, in our quotations, so bear with me. Now, here are 5 relationship insights from this verse 17, and the exact lines they're based on. Number 1, quote, the people are hardly aware that he exists, close quote. Now, choose a partner whose love doesn't demand constant performance. True lovers, healthy love is quiet support, not a 24/7 relationship podcast. Seek someone whose presence calms your nervous system, not spikes it. I mean, you look around, oh good gracious, you see so many drama-filled relationships. All my relationships up until I met my beloved Rachel were filled with drama. Or for some of you, worse than that, filled with awkward silence. Right? You know that silence that I'm talking about, getting the silence treatment or giving the silence treatment, whether you do it or whether I used to do it in some cases. Some people are just confident, secured, and relaxed in their own self, that they're not trying to take it out on you. Look for those beautiful creatures. Number 2, next best is a leader who is loved, says verse 17. Look for love rooted in mutual respect, not emotional dependency. They don't need to rescue you to feel worthy. Real love lifts, not latches. Unfortunately, I have so many painful examples from my past relationships. One of them would be right towards the end of my previous relationship, my third marriage, who happened to have been my worst one my entire life. You would think from one marriage to another I would have learned something, but actually I didn't. And maybe you have a similar experience where you keep manifesting the same relationships over and over again. And you're like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with them? Or what's wrong with the world? So one example would be, towards the end, I realized that I'm probably guilty of being a part of a codependent relationship. What is a codependent relationship? That's material for a whole other video. Feel free to look it up. However, basically two people who are not secure in themselves and get clingy with each other, and their whole day depends on what the other person is doing or not doing, versus just laissez-faire, right? Live and let live. And I told my ex, hey, I found, I'm suspecting that we might have a codependent relationship, and I found that there is such a thing that's called, I think it's called a Codependent Anonymous. Yeah, believe it or not, they have a group for that too. And I said, so I think I'm gonna go check it out by myself. And she said, no, you're not. I'm coming with you. Check it out. I'm telling my ex, I want to go and explore the idea that we are codependent, and she responds, I'm coming with you. You get that joke in it, the cosmic joke in it? That's how codependent we were. I ended up going by myself, finding out that that's not necessarily the tool that I need, but the problem was still there. 3, if you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. Close quote. Notice how your partner shows trust and if they inspire yours. Controlling behavior is not care. A partner who trusts you makes you want to be trustworthy. Here's another example for you guys. When I was with my second wife, I remember we were still in the middle of the relationship. We thought everything was fine. And at one point, I taught myself how to change oil in a car, change engine oil. I was so proud of myself because I'm not necessarily a mechanically inclined kind of guy who fixes cars. But I learned one thing to do. I was so excited about it, and I wanted to serve my wife at the time, my partner. And I said, hey, I want to change. We had 2 cars at the time. And I said, I want to change the oil in your car. It's time. And she immediately said, no, you're not. You're going to break it. I'm like, why would she say that? I mean, first of all, I never broke her car before. Why would I start now? And I said, well, I would think you would allow me to do it, for the sake of trust between us. And, how else would I learn? And she said, you first have to prove yourself, then I'll trust you. Now, people do different things. People have different styles. Some of you might even agree with that. But actually, if you think of it, that goes against the wisdom of this verse, right? A partner who trusts you makes you want to be trustworthy. Find somebody who trusts you, gives you the benefit of the doubt in advance. And if you make a mistake, guess what? They don't have to hold it against you. People make mistakes all the time. As long as you learn from it and you're gonna do it better next time, great. And if you mess up 3 times in a row, that's okay too. They can just help you figure it out. Why is it that you keep messing it up? But coming from trust and love. Guess what's most important in a relationship? Not the car, not breaking the car. It's not breaking the trust between you two. It's cultivating a beautiful relationship like a garden, right? You don't yell at your flowers, you water them. Number 4, the master doesn't talk, he acts. Now, watch what they do, not just what they say. Sweet words are easy. Steady actions over time, that's sacred ground. I cannot say enough about this line, guys. Actions speak louder. But I know you know that line. I know you heard that line before. But do we always go by it? Probably not. We allow people to swindle us, to use their tricks on us, to charm us with their words, while their actions speak a different game. Another example, one of my ex-wives, one of my many, I know, not very proud of it, but it is what it is karma-wise. And I remember when I started a relationship with one of them, I'm usually the kind of guy who likes to drive my partner around. I like being their chauffeur. I like to serve my partner. That's just who I am. That's how I'm built. And I was just driving her everywhere. I had a car at a time. She didn't have a car. And at one point, my car was at the shop. And I said, hey, I need to go to the eye doctor. Any chance you can borrow your mother's car and drive me to my appointment? Now, what do you think I expected to hear at that point, right? Something as casual as like, yeah, sure, no problem. You drive me all the time. They don't even have to say that. But why not, right? We love each other. Guess what happened right after I made that request? I heard the sound, really? Not kidding you. And we were just in the beginning of our relationship that ended up being 7-8 years of that. And I was like, what did I just listen to? Why would she respond like that? Of course, I didn't have the insight or the foresight to examine and evaluate what I'm looking at. Guess what? All dating relationships should be an interviewing process. Yes, you're not in a committed relationship yet, or even if you are just in the beginning of it, you haven't married each other yet. You are interviewing each other for a potential lifetime partner. Not everybody is right for us, even if we started dating them. But I didn't understand that. I did think that if I started dating them, that's it. That should be there for the rest of my life. What if they're not the right person for me? What if I'm not the right person for them? It only implies one thing, guys. My insecurity was there. My fear of being alone, rather than being committed to finding the right person that deserves my love for the rest of our life. Her not being excited on driving me, especially when I drive her everywhere, even if I didn't, and making that comment, that was suspect, but I couldn't see it. And sure enough, she did have an inclination of being lazy. I don't think she's like that anymore. After we broke up, I think she made she learned some lessons about who she wants to be, and I'm sure she's fantastic now. But I didn't understand that, and I didn't know how to set boundaries. Number 5, when his work is done, the people say, amazing, we did it all by ourselves, close quote. The best partner empowers you to grow, not need them more. Love would feel like expansion, not codependence. You should feel more you, not less. And here you can think of, I had this tendency when I was in a relationship, I didn't really have my own me time, not a whole lot. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with my own friends. It was always we do everything together. Now, to be completely honest, it's kind of similar to how it is right now with my beloved Rachel. But, sometimes at certain times during our relationship, I had a motorcycle, and guess what? I would go on my own motorcycle rides. At a certain time in my life, I would go, still does, work in a coffee shop, whether when I was working on my master degree or when I just need to get something done. And she gets it, right? There's no, sometimes we get together to the coffee shop, sometimes by myself. You get what I'm saying? It's okay to want to spend time with yourself, work on stuff that is important to you. You don't have to drag each other everywhere you go. But there's also nothing wrong with spending a lot of time together, don't get me wrong. I think you get my drift. So, 3 practical dating tips as promised from verse 17. Number 1, date with your ears closed and your eyes open. Don't fall in love with potential. Fall in love with patterns. My previous career, I was a behavior modification specialist. And I am an expert in how to help children and adults change their behaviors, especially obviously undesired behaviors. I really believe that we all have behavior patterns. Can we change those behavior patterns over time? Absolutely, especially if we're motivated to do that. Not everybody is. And when you're meeting a new person, do not, I repeat, do not take on new projects. Look for people who their behavior patterns match yours, make sense for your lifestyle, and most important, for your life values. Don't hook up with people who go against the values you hold dear. Number 2, ask, does this person bring out my independence or my anxiety? The right one feels like support, not supervision. Stay away from controlling people. My last relationship before Rachel, it's hard for me to say that because it makes me sad to think about it, but she's a covert narcissist. Those of you who know what it is, something to watch out for. Those of you who are like that, work on yourself. Those of you who don't know what it is, GTS, Google that stuff. Number 3, look for partners who honor your self-trust. If someone constantly questions your choices, ask yourself why you're letting them close to your peace, right? Somebody keeps second guessing me, my decisions. That's not necessarily how it looks like when somebody's trying to help. Okay, when my wife and I started dating, at one point she offered certain advice, and I felt at the time that is not really what I need. Yes, we give each other advice all the time, but at the time it felt like that specific thing I wanted to deal with by myself. And I told her, honey, thank you for your advice. I'm not looking for a coach. I'm looking for a partner. And she got it. You know, it might feel awkward at the time when I'm saying it, but if you're saying it in a loving manner, they'll get it. And if they don't get it, maybe they're not the right person for you. So, true lovers, if you're ready to stop confusing charisma for character and you found value in this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the only thing better than healing is doing it with a little laughter and a lot of Tao. And remember, your soulmate isn't late. They're just waiting for you to stop dating people your shadow is attracted to. Be love, and I'll see you next time.